Today we are going to introduce nuclear power.
Nuclear power is the use of nuclear reaction to produce electricity. Nuclear power can be obtained from nuclear fusion, nuclear decay, and nuclear fusion reaction. Nuclear is a form of energy released from the nucleus, the core of atom, made up of protons and neutrons. This source of energy can be produced in two ways. Fusion when nuclear of atoms spill into surface part of fusion when nuclear fuse together.
First, nuclear fuels break down to release thermal energy. Next, the water is boiled into steam, and the steam drives the turbine. Lastly, the turbine drives the generator, generates electricity. At Shenzhen, we have Daya Bay nuclear power plants. In nuclear physics and nuclear chemistry, a nuclear reaction is a process in which two nuclei or a nucleus and an external subatomic particle collide to produce one or more new nucleides. Natural nuclear reactions occur in the interaction between cosmic rays and matter, and nuclear reactions can be embodied artificially to obtain nuclear energy at an adjustable rate on demand.
Nuclear power might have risk. Have you ever heard Chernobyl nuclear disaster? Yeah, it's about this topic. At 26 April 1986, a reactor in Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The main cause of the accident was that during the backup power supply test after the emergency shutdown of the reactor, due to the improper operation of the operator, the power increased sharply and the reactor was destroyed. Its related to nuclear power include where and how to store the spent fuel or nuclear waste, which remains dangerously radioactive for thousands of years. Because of the nuclear power plants are built at coastal, they have to face rising sea levels and the risk of more extreme storms. Although nuclear power plant is already safe enough, the citizens that live next to the nuclear power plant are still afraid of nuclear leak. Some governments will use nuclear for military. At World War II, the Allies put two bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Therefore, nuclear for military will cause casualties and economic losses. Although there are some risks about nuclear plants, it has some good way. First, nuclear is a zero-emission clean energy source, and it won't produce the harmful byproducts emitted by fossil fuels. Next, nuclear energy's land footprint is small. Therefore, nuclear energy can produce more electricity by using fewer lands than other clean air sources. Lastly, nuclear energy will just produce a little waste. The waste that make at nuclear power plants also can be reprocessed and recycled.
In nuclear fission, atoms are split apart, which releases energy. All nuclear power plants use nuclear fission, and most nuclear power plants use uranium atoms. During nuclear fission, a neutron collides with an uranium atom and fuses it, releasing a large amount of energy in the form of heat and radiation. Nuclear fusion is a reaction which two or more atomic nuclei are combined to form one or more different atomic nuclei and subatomic particles. The difference in mass between the reactants and product is manifested as either the release or the absorption of energy. This difference in mass arises due to the difference in nuclear bonding energy between the atomic nuclei before and after the reaction. Nuclear power was invented by Enrico Fermi. The idea of nuclear power began in the 1940s. He led his team that in 1942 achieved the first nuclear chain reaction, the first nuclear power plant in Soviet Union in 1954. The first commercial nuclear power plant was in Pennsylvania in 1957.
This is the end of our introduction of nuclear power.